Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Read Give Yourself Goosebumps. And so, this time we're going to be reading. Let's see, get a good look at that. About the glare on it. Okay, so that's going to be the best look there. So, this is The Creepy Creations of Professor Shock. And this is number 14 out of the Give Yourself Goosebumps books. And Professor Shock actually did a cameo in the Goosebumps movie. He was around the campfire or whatever when they're about to storm the high school. So it is a brief cameo, but he's there. So let's see. Let's kind of get into it. So he's into heavy metal, really heavy metal. You and your friends decide to check out a new part of town. That's when you notice an old house with a sign that says "Beware, Danger" on one side and "Please come in" on the other. Of course, you decide to go and see what's up. Naturally, the old man who lives there tells you he's looking for help cleaning out his garage, and you find a secret room. Inside, there's a robot, and mirrors, and all kinds of great stuff. If you look in the mirrors, you'll find yourself in a place where everything is backwards. If you turn on the robot, you'll be walking in a metal wonderland. What does that mean? Can you get back before you become a pile of nuts and bolts? So, yeah, just real quick, if this is your first time, you're not familiar with the format of the show, basically I'm going to be reading out loud my adventure in this choose your own adventure book, and I have 2 attempts to get a good ending. So there's 20 different scary endings, and that includes the good and the bad. So we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Alright. So, clean out Professor Shock's garage, Major drag you say, until you sneak into his workshop and check out the gadgets. Whoa! He's got a huge robot in there and a really cool pinball machine. You're dying to try them all. But look out. Some of the professor's inventions do shocking things. Wow. Professor Shock does shocking things? Wow. What a surprise. Can you take it? Will you know what to do when a Walkman attacks you? What's a Walkman? Alright, and what's that thing labeled Loreo? Do you have the guts to find out? Whatever you do, don't push the red button on the remote control. You already pushed it. Oops. Sorry. You're in control of the scary adventure. You decide what will happen and how terrifying the scares will be. Start on page 1 to follow instructions at the bottom of each page. You make the choices, so take a deep breath, cross your fingers, and turn to page 1 to give yourself goosebumps. I'm going to give you guys some goosebumps. Give myself some goosebumps. Alright. School's out, you yell gleefully. Leaning on the handlebars of your bicycle, you gaze at your best friends, Jason and Stacy. What should we do today? Jason and Stacy are twins. Both have blonde hair and blue eyes, but that's about the only way they're alike. Let's ride around the park, Jason suggests. Boring, Stacy responds. Let's go someplace new. As always, you make the decision. We'll go that way, you say, pointing north out of the park. You race up the wide boulevard on your bicycles. Soon you're in a part of town you've never seen before. I heard this was the oldest part of the city, Jason says. Some of the houses go back to pioneer days. That one looks like it goes back to the dinosaurs, you joke. You point at a high, crumbling brick wall. All you can see of the houses behind it is a rotting roof. A sign by the front gate says, "Please come in." You turn to your friends. Let's check it out, you suggest, and turn back to the gate and stop in shock. Beware the sign, because the sign now says danger. What? It's a trap, if I've ever seen one. You rub your eyes. Did you read the sign correctly? Then you see that it's loose. It turns slowly in the wind back to the sign that says, "Please come in." Let's go in, Stacy says excitedly. Are you nuts? Jason cries. The sign says danger. As usual, you decide, I want to see what's inside, you declare. The rusty gate is open a crack. You push it all the way open and enter. You find yourselves in a weedy yard with grass as high as your knees. Beyond the lawn stands a huge old three-story house. Paint peels from every wall, the porch sags, several of the windows are boarded up. It looks haunted, Jason says nervously. Stacy rolls her eyes. There's no such thing, she responds. But I'll bet no one's lived here in a long time. You step onto the sagging porch and peer into the front window. It's so dirty you can't see anything inside. Then a strong, bony hand clamps around your wrist. Oh no, it's a skeleton. It's spooky. Your heart thuds. A fierce-looking old man is holding your wrist. He's totally bald. A bushy white beard hangs down to his chest. His dark eyes squint behind thick glasses. It's about time you got here. I've been waiting all morning. I'm Professor Shock, the old man says. Are you ready to start work? What do you mean, you demand, pulling with him. Professor Shock frowns. Aren't you from Acme Cleanup? No, Stacy tells him. We were riding around and saw your gate was open. Oh, Professor Shock seems disappointed. The people from Acme were supposed to clean our garage, but they didn't show up. Why don't I hire you kids? It's not hard work, and I'll pay you $50. Jeez. $50? That's pretty good. You glance at the twins. That's a lot of money, Jason nods eagerly. Sure, we'll be glad to. Wonderful, Professor Shock replies. Right this way. You follow the old man to the backyard, then you see the garage, and you wonder if you made a big mistake. I think it's funny that Professor Shock, at first assumed that the kids were from a professional cleanup crew when they're kids. Doesn't make any sense. So he hires, and nonetheless he hires them to help him out anyways. Whatever. I mean, what's going to happen when the actual cleanup crew comes in? They're like, we just lost our job to a bunch of kids for $50. That sucks. It's a bad day for them. The garage is as big as a barn and packed with junk. Moldy old furniture, rotting cardboard boxes, piles of rags, a rusted out car, and that's just in the front part. You want us to clean this out? Stacy asks. It'll be easy, Professor Shock says cheerfully. He hands you brooms and trash bags. I'll check back later. Oh, one thing, he adds. Whatever you do, don't go in the back room. He points to the partially open green door at the back of the garage. But, Stacy cries. Too late, he's gone. You and your friends gaze at the incredible mass of junk. Is the money really worth it? Let's get started, you say with a sigh. You find a wheelbarrow and load piles of old newspapers into it. Stacy pushes a broom in the back of the garage. Jason carries boxes to the front. Oh no, JC suddenly calls. My ring slipped off my finger, and it rolled right into the back room. I think she did it on purpose, just to check it out. I mean, just following Goosebumps logic. Of course, the grown-up, it says, hey, don't, you kids, just stay away from this door, don't go in the back room, and obviously they're going to have to check it out. So, you and Jason hurry to the back of the garage. You glance toward the front. No sign of Professor Shock. Come on, you say. Let's find the ring. But when you step through the green door, you forget all about Stacy's ring. The room is packed with electronic gadgets and toys. Every shelf and table holds a cool-looking machine. Lights flash, circuits buzz. A blackboard is covered with mathematical formulas. The walls are plastered with diagrams of machines. I bet Professor Shock is an inventor, Stacy exclaims. This must be his workshop. What do all these things do? Jason wonders. You're studying two huge switches on the back wall. One's red, one's white. From the red switch, a red wire leads to the back of an 8-foot-tall copper robot. A white cable from the white switch leads to a high-tech pinball machine. It looks like the coolest game you've ever seen. You already know you're going to pull one of the switches. The only question is which switch. So one switch goes to the robot, one to the pinball machine. I mean, come on. This the robots on the front cover. We gotta go with that. I mean, why would you want to turn on the switch for the pinball machine? That doesn't seem hardly exciting as a... Was it an 8-foot-tall robot? Yeah, we gotta try that out. You decide to try the red switch. You reach up behind the giant robot and flip the switch to on. At first, nothing happens. But then the robot's eyes blink open. Red pinpoints of light shine out of them. It swivels its head. Left, right, left, right. Whoa, excellent, Stacy exclaims. It looks dangerous, Jason complains. You think the robot is the coolest thing you've ever seen in a long time. Maybe we can make it clean up the garage, you suggest. You aren't sure how to control the robot. You try pushing it toward the green door. The metal arms wave clumsily in the air. Then it takes a jerky step forward. This is great, Stacy says. Even Jason agrees, for once. We won't have to do any work at all now. He whacks the robot enthusiastically on its cover back as it lumbers by him. Go to it, pal. The robot blinks. Gears whir. Then it spins around and grabs for Jason's throat. Help! It's gone crazy, Jason shouts. Stop it. Maybe you shouldn't have touched it. He doesn't... maybe he has, like a bubble, like his personal bubble, and you just popped it. Your eyes widen in horror. The robot is trying to strangle Jason. Duck, you shout. But when Jason ducks out of the way, the robot doesn't seem to notice. Instead, it lurches wildly across the room. Bangs into the wall, spins around, walks into a chair. Next, it starts knocking things off the table. Its arms whirl like windmills, smashing into everything that's near them. The robot is out of control. You wonder if Jason knocked its circuits loose when he whacked it on the back. Turn it off, Stacy screeches. Snapping out of your horrified daze, you start for the back of the shop. You got to reach the red switch. Oh no, the robot is moving towards Professor Shock's desk. It's stacked with books and complicated charts. A flat black box with rows of buttons balances on top of a pile of papers. No, you shout. Professor Shock will boil you in oil if you let the robot mess up his work. You leap toward the desk. If only you can move the papers out of the way. But the robot is faster. Smash! Crash! Its metal arms sweeping across the desktop, knocking everything to the floor. At that moment, Professor Shock rushes through the door. Yay! Professor Shock to the rescue! Yay! What are you kids doing? Professor Shock demands. Dashing to the red switch, he turns it to off. A grinding sound like a dying car engine comes from the robot. Slowly, its arms stop swinging. Its legs stop churning. Its head falls forward and clangs against his copper chest. An awful silence falls over the room. You gaze, not glaze. Thinking about donuts, glazed donuts. Tasty. You gaze around at the horrible mess. The flat black box from the desk is lying in two pieces at your feet. Trying not to draw attention to yourself, you pick them up and stuff them in your pocket. Maybe you can fix the box later. Professor Shock steps toward you. His face is red with anger. I thought I told you not to come in here, he growls. Let's go, Stacy cries. She and Jason bolt out the door. You really want to follow them, but maybe you ought to apologize instead and offer to help clean things up. What will it be? I feel really bad because we really kind of, really screwed things up. So let's go ahead and apologize. That seems to be the right thing to do. I'm sorry, you tell Professor Shock. We didn't mean to come in here, and we didn't mean to make the robot go nuts. It was all an accident. What about the damage? The old man thunders. You've caused thousands of dollars worth of damage. Oh crap. He's gonna kill me. You gulp. I'll work to help pay for it, you offer. You'll pay alright. Professor Shock mutters. He glances around. Where's my remote control? I left it on my desk. You mean this? Guiltily you pulled the two pieces of flat black box from your pocket. You broke it, the professor screams. What will I do now? Then his eyes narrow thoughtfully. Never mind, I just figured out what you can do to pay me back. Follow me. Okay. This is where this kid dies. Alright. Nervously, you follow the old man out of the garage into his house. And soon he opens the door. Loud squawks fill your ears. In here, Professor Shock shouts above the noise. You stop and stare. The living room is even stranger than the garage. I find that hard to believe. Oh, crap. Okay. So, the only furniture in the professor's living room is a big armchair. It's surrounded by dozens of televisions, all on, their volume cranked up. It's so noisy you can't think. The professor seats himself in the chair and then turns to you with a smile. I like to watch all the TV sets at once, he shouts, but I hate to get up and change the channels. Since you broke my remote, you can change them for me. But you start to object. Get to it, he orders. Or do you want me to call your parents and tell them what you did? Quickly you shake your head. Good. The professor leans back in his chair. Change that one to channel 33, he tells you, pointing at one of the TVs, then to turn the volume up on that one. Then change The one over there to channel 72. Then fix the picture on that one. You dash around the room trying to follow his orders. Faster, Professor Shock commands. There isn't even time to catch your breath. It's awful. You love the channel surf, but not like this. Professor Shock might keep watching forever, but for you, the show's over. It's the end. So, that was not a good idea. So, apparently, this book is teaching you you should run away when you're in trouble and not try to apologize when you screw things up. So, it's a good lesson for kids. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go back where we were. So this time, we are not going to apologize. And we are going to follow our friends and run the hell out of here. Wait for me, you'd call, dashing after Stacy and Jason. You race past the pile of boxes and old furniture in the garage. You don't even glance at the rusted car and machinery. Speeding outside, you jump on your bike. The twins are already way down in your street. You pedal as fast as you can for your own neighborhood. After a few blocks, you glance back. Whew. No sign of Professor Shock. You're home free. When you reach your house, you grab some cookies from the kitchen and head upstairs. You feel like relaxing for a while. You slip on your Walkman headphones, then you pop in your favorite tape and lie down on your bed to listen. That's when you remember the broken black box in your pocket. The remote control. Or part of it. It's all broken. Sitting up, you pull the two halves of the box out of your pocket and examine them. One has a single red button on it. The other half has 11 buttons. 9 are black with mysterious symbols printed on them. The last 2 are white. They are labeled rewind and fast forward. You twist the pieces in your hand. How do they fit together? Snap, the two halves click into place. Wow. There isn't even a crack where the break was. The box looks as good as new. It's clearly some fancy kind of remote control. Should you return it to Professor Shock? You wonder. Before you can decide, a green laser beam shoots out from the end of the road, the end that's pointing towards you. What's going on? So we're going to find out. It's interesting that Professor Shock gets mad that we broke his remote control as well, but you see how easily we were able to put it back together. So I think it's just messing with us. Yeah, making us become his own human remote control. Zeet. The laser beam bounces off your Walkman. The music suddenly grows louder. Quickly you turn the volume down, but the sound keeps swelling. It's hurting your ears. You switch the Walkman off. The music plays on. It blares in your ears so loud you think your brain will fry. Dropping the remote, you try to yank the earphones off your head, but they won't budge. It's as if they're glued in place. Help, you cry, but you can't even hear your own voice. The music is so loud, your whole head is vibrating. Your eyes feel as if they're about to pop out. You've got to do something. This is dangerous. Think, you urge yourself. Your Walkman went crazy right after you put the remote together. But if you break it apart again, the Walkman will leave you alone. Or maybe you should try pressing one of the remote buttons. Better decide quickly before your brain explodes. So we can either break it apart, which could work, or it could cause something terrible to happen, or we can press one of the random buttons. So I say we press the random buttons. There's the possibility if we break the remote again, it might not fit perfectly together again. So, I don't want to take that chance. You snatch the remote off your bed and punch frantically at the buttons. Your finger lands on one of the black buttons. A second later, the awful blasting music stops. Silence, you never knew how great it was. For a while, you simply sit there, shaking. Then you examine the Walkman. It looks the same as it always did. You peer at the remote. That green ray that comes out of it, did it really make your Walkman go crazy? You cross to the other side of the room and point the remote at the Walkman. Cautiously, you press the button that seemed to turn the Walkman off. No green ray, but the Walkman blares on instantly. The music is so loud that you can hear it clearly over to the other side of the room, even though it's coming through the earphones. Quickly, you press the button again. The Walkman shuts off. You examine the remote more closely. What are all these buttons for, especially that red one? Do you dare to find out? Sure you do. So it automatically assumes you're going to press the red button. So, because, of course you're going to push it. It's a red button. You have to press it. It's like a like an unwritten law in the universe. Gotta press the red button. Taking a deep breath, you punch your finger down on the red button. The remote lets out a short, high-pitched buzzing sound, but your Walkman doesn't turn out on. In fact, as far as you can tell, nothing happens. What a ripoff, you grumble, and press another of the black buttons. All the lights in the room blink on. You hit the remote again, the lights go off. A third button controls your TV. A fourth turns your model train on and off, even though it's made of wood. Cool, you think? Professor Shock's box is some kind of super remote. That reminds you, the remote does belong to Professor Shock. You should return it. But maybe you don't have to return it right this minute. You really think you'd like to show it to Jason and Stacy. What do you think? If you choose to return the remote to the professor right away, or if you'd rather show it to the twins first?